would I recommend you do about all of this? Well, for one thing, just start out yearning. Don't be appeased by the toys. Again and again, when you yearn a bit, Divine Mother comes across with yet another interesting thing that'll keep you going for a decade or maybe your whole life. Accept no substitutes. Just want God and keep up the yearning for God, because it's just so easy to suddenly get a whiz-bang or some special thing or a special person and forget about God entirely. And that's the way of the world. Again and again, we get an offering from the Divine Mother that just preoccupies us and takes away all our time, and another life has gone by. So yearn for the Lord. Don't be appeased by the toys. You just keep calling out, Ma, Ma, whether you get toys or not. You will certainly get toys. This yearning is the yearning and the ache of your heart. And the ache of your heart will develop, if you yearn deeply enough, into bhakti, which is devotional love for God. Your yearning somewhere becomes devotional love for God. And bhakti is God's great treasure and God's great pleasure. God gives you a treasure and a pleasure once you get bhakti. The secret is bhakti. Once you have bhakti deep enough, it takes you into a bhava. Bhakti is a state of actual love you feel in your heart for God. Just like you feel love for others, that love gets, so you can just feel love in your chest. You just feel this love, this delight, this sweetness, this joy, this depth of caring. You feel that in your heart or in your chest, in what yogis and mystics call the heart. And the secret is your bhakti will grow and go into a bhava. You can't say that your ego so much goes into a bhava. Your ego kind of cooperates enough to let the heart go into a bhava. The secret is bhakti. You just get so much of a feeling of love for God that it changes your sense of self and it changes your emotional flow. And then bhavas are easy. You got to get bhakti. You just walk around in love. That's how it goes. You're not just trying to love God and yearning for God and doing all the techniques and everything. You actually feel love for God in your heart, just like you feel love for others. Only this is a very sweet and strong love, and that sweet and strong love will grow on you. Basically, Yogananda used to watch devotees to see how their bhakti was. And if their bhakti was coming on strong, he was very happy. And if they didn't have bhakti, he would be wondering why. Why no bhakti yet? And he felt that was one of his main jobs. And so what happens is one of his devotees, leading devotees, who was an intellectual type, but busy working really hard, doing intensive sadhana and everything. And Yogananda said one day, after this guy had been there for 2 years, he said, "Look what I've done for him." Because finally he had bhakti. And he thought, I've been working really hard for 2 years. What does he mean? Look what Yogananda has done for me. I've been really pouring it on and doing all it. And Yogananda basically felt that he had given this young man the gift of bhakti, and that it had grown and developed over 2 years. So there was a difference of perspective about where the bhakti came from. Bhakti is the key to the kingdom. It's the emotional state necessary to enter into bhavas. You need bhakti. You need to walk around with it, feeling it every day for quite a while. Because you got to be changed over from being a yearner or even a complainer into a lover. So if you've got bhakti, this is a pleasure and a treasure. So the secret is bhakti. Just having it smolder like embers, burning in your heart, passion for God. That's the answer. It automatically takes you into bhavas. So then the great big question is how to get into bhakti. And the yearning will do it. Adoring God, if you can lend yourself to days of adoration, just adoring God all day will do it. Trouble adoring, just appreciate God all day. That leads to adoring. What's the difference between love and bhakti? In bhakti, you humble yourself before the Lord. You feel privileged to be in the Lord's presence. You humble yourself. You just, I feel so grateful. You, like very often in love, big shot me and big shot you, we're having this big shot love. We are alive, we are in love, everything's special, and we're so equal. That's not the way bhakti is. Bhakti is, like Sharada Devi said, looking at her husband. How could I ever be so privileged, honored to be here beholding this man? That's bhakti. You feel honored and privileged to be in the company of God, and you're mindful in bhakti of that honor and privilege. You feel so blessed and so humble before the beloved. It takes that kind of love, humility. What have I ever done to deserve this?